Hello again, I am Blondie, and if there's one aspect of gaming culture that I find the most tiresome and the most corrosive to our various sub-communities, it's fanboyism. And the fanboy grouping, whose derisive name is the Sony Ponies, PlayStation loyalists, Sony's easily led and quick to piss-pants anger brand slaves, well, the Sony ponies love to go on and on about Sony's suite of massive exclusives that no one else can match, mocking the Xbox about how Xbox has no exclusives and the games on their system can be played on other things. As if that's a bad thing. Listen up, Sony ponies. Consumer choice is a good thing, you window-licking lunatics. And all that's aside from the fact that so far the PS5 has a pitiful 4% number sitting next to games it's talked about against games that are actually exclusive launch titles. Over the weekend, Sony took off another layer of wraps of their impending new monster, the PlayStation 5. I already popped up a reaction to the hardware design, but today I want to talk about the games. You know, the important part of a gaming system. In the 2 hours of showtime from Sony, there were 24 games shown off, and when you cut out all of the garbage, it was about 42 minutes of trailers. Many of those trailers were nothing but cinematic trailers, a few had actual gameplay in them, believe it or not, and very few were actually exclusive to PlayStation 5 at all. Fewer still are launch titles, and fewer of those are legitimate reasons to buy a PS5 in the first place. So how is any of that going to help the PS5 get a foothold at launch? But let me take you through the math, as it were. I started with GTA 5. I can't even say that with a straight face. That's right, the big headline was GTA 5. Rockstar forever milking the desiccated cow husk of GTA 5. Not only isn't it exclusive, it's old as balls and was created for the PlayStation 3 generation. So, 3 generations old already and still headlining their reveal show? Good lord. That Take-Two Interactive money is real nice. Next, a genuine PlayStation exclusive, Spider-Man Miles Morales. And while live streaming the reveal event, I stated that I'd bet this started out as a simple DLC for the PS4's highly praised Spider-Man game. After all, there was lots of Miles Morales stuff in that game already, including teasers to him eventually becoming Spider-Man himself, but whatever plan that was got balked up and became a standalone game. Not the first time we've seen this happen in the gaming industry lately, and I'm actually all for it. If a DLC gets fat enough to support its own weight under a separate release, I'm all for that, because it means it gets even more attention paid to it, and more gameplay rolled into it, so we wind up getting more of a game we already love, instead of just a few hours worth of DLC pack. But there are quotes going around claiming it will be smaller than a traditional console game. Not only smaller than the Spider-Man game, but smaller than a traditional console game altogether. But it will be sold as a standalone product, and I guess you could call it an expansion or an enhancement of the previous game. And there's no word at all yet on if the game will see a PS4 release also. So PlayStation exclusive, of course, but not necessarily PS5 exclusive. I kinda doubt it. I'd lay money they're not willing to give up the piles and piles and piles of cash they could make selling this game to the massive existing install base of the PS4. And the users there not ready and willing to upgrade yet. There's no way Sony is passing up on that cash. Next was Gran Turismo 7, a very popular series in its rather niche audience of racing sim lovers. I prefer arcade races myself, but you know, that's me. And almost certainly going to be a PS5 exclusive. There is almost always an exclusive racing title for pretty much every platform, because they're really good at showing off, you know, shiny surfaces, which look good in trailers, because cars are made of shiny surfaces almost exclusively. And of course, the Gran Turismo 4 bears were similarly exclusive to the previous system. But, is it a system-selling game? Well, maybe. It's a chart-chopping franchise. Next up, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. Like GT, very, very popular series and exclusive to the brand. And given what we saw in the trailer, it's a safe bet. It is actually PS5 exclusive with no PS4 port, just based on how it looks and the kind of technology they appear to be using. But also presented without so much as a vague launch window. So we've got no idea if it's a launch title yet. Probably not, if they're not saying anything yet. Next was Stray. Quirky. Certainly not a system-selling title. It's a multi-platform game, and it is not exclusive. It's not even out this year, by the way. Returnal, Early this year, the developer, Housemarque, announced they were stopping work on some vague Battle Royale title they'd never talked about before to work on something else for an unannounced partner. Clearly, that was Sony they were talking about. And it's a safe bet this will be exclusive because of that. Much like their other game, Resogun, was exclusive for the PS4 and a much talked about game because it was fantastic. Don't know if anyone bought a PS4 just to play Resogun, but every PS4 owner I knew loved that game. And while it's unconfirmed, it's probably a launch title? Maybe? Sackboy A Big Adventure was next, obviously a Sony-owned property. It will be exclusive, no word on if it's a launch title, no window was given, and no word on if it's coming to PS4 also, but I don't know. Probably a launch game, maybe. Destruction Allstars is, only as far as I could find out, debuting on PS5. That was the word I saw used in a couple of different articles. It was debuting on PS5. So a timed exclusive at best, and not launching until next year. So not a launch title. Kenya Bridge of Spirits might be a launch game, but it's not an exclusive. It'll hit PS4 and PCs too. Goodbye Volcano High, not exclusive, not a launch game, and won't see light until 2021. Oddworld Soulstorm might be a launch title, or a launch window title at least, but it is also multi-platform. Ghostwire Tokyo, not coming until 2021, and absolutely a multi-platform game. Jett The Far Shore is out this year, but another multi-platform game. Godfall, likely a launch game. We've known the launch window is the end of this year for quite some time now, because it is a multi-platform game. Solar Ash Kingdom, another multi-platform game, and one without any release window I could find. Hitman 3, not coming until next year, but it is at least early next year, so we could kindly call it a launch window game. It's supposed to launch in January. Who knows if that'll slip, though. Gaming. But absolutely not exclusive. It's not even exclusive to this gen. It's coming to Xbox One, Series X, PS4, PC, PS5. Astro's Playroom. Obvious exclusive because it's a PlayStation thing, but no one is buying a PS5 for this throwaway crap. Probably just going to include this in the PlayStation Plus subscription and try and give it away. Little Devil Inside, no release date and not exclusive, and in a bit of hot water already out there for having to apologize for being a little bit racist in their trailer. Oops-a-doodles. Bugsnax, launch window game, yes. System exclusive, absolutely not. Demon's Souls, probably exclusive. The original version was exclusive to the PS3, that is. But that is unconfirmed, and it also has no date at all. Deathloop, launch window probably, but not exclusive. Resident Evil 8 Village, not out till 2021 and not exclusive. Pragmata, not out till 2022 and not exclusive. No idea why they even bothered showing this one off. I could get it, 2022 if it was exclusive. Only PlayStation was getting this, but so far out and not exclusive, why bother showing it off at all? Horizon Forbidden West. God, what a generic name. I hate it. System exclusive, of course, at least for a while. We already know the original game is coming to PC, where it can be its best self, of course. But without so much as a year of release mentioned, much less a launch window, it seems doubtful that it's a launch title. I imagine they want it to be, but whether they can get it to be or not is a different question, it seems. They're not brave enough to put a date up there yet. So, from what we know so far, based on what Sony have told us themselves, there is only one safe bet for a system exclusive that we can also expect on launch day, and that's Gran Turismo. The three others, Ratchet and Clank, Returnal, and Sackboy, don't have dates. There's also that Miles Morales Spider-Man game, of course. I'd bet that will be there for launch day, but again, I highly doubt it will leave the PS4 install base in the dust, or the money lying on the table, as it were. So, system exclusive, probably not. I mean, the bad press alone from enraged Spider-Man gamer lovers being forced to buy an expensive new piece of hardware just to play a game that was clearly originally intended as DLC from the original game, which I paid good money for. All that alone wouldn't be worth it for Sony to ignore the PS4 on this one, I think. So we wind up with the math, as I started out. Only 16% of the 24 games they showed off were even exclusives at all, and only 4% of them are known to be launch titles. So yeah, Sony parties, why don't you tell me all about how the PS5 will bury the Xbox and every other platform on launch based on its wonderful, huge library of exclusives, while the multi-platform and cross-platform openness of Microsoft's approach has somehow doomed them to be ignored by real gamers. Go on, I'll wait. Go on, explain to me how that makes sense to you. I'll sit here and just smirk, smugly. Smug smirk. Smug Sony smirk. Sony, you're good at smug. Not so good at humble, though, are they? I can be. I'm just choosing not to be this time around. Thank you for watching. I am Blunty. I will catch you next time. Thank you, as always, to the patrons floating up above.